Nonimatikela, welcome to my YouTube channel. So today I want us to talk about Dr. Sibanda. Hey, nah. Yo, I son. Anyhow, so we need to talk about something that many viewers, the trial watchers may have missed it that happened in court, but could become one of the most important procedural battles in the Senzo Meyiwa murder trial. Why is Advocate Sibanda so determined to temporarily close accused number 2, Bongani Ntanzi's case, and immediately move to accused number 3? That is the question that we are asking today. This is not the first time he has raised this issue. Last week, Wednesday, Sibanda approached the court with a request that accused number 2's case can be temporarily closed so that the defense case of accused number 3 could begin. Judge Ratamu Kgwatleng immediately rejected that request and described it as irregular. Do you understand what I'm saying? He said it's irregular. He was like, no, it's irregular. Now, the important point here is that the judge did not merely postpone the discussion. He made a ruling. Whether people agree with that ruling or not is irrelevant. A court ruling remains a court ruling until it is changed through proper legal processes. Fast forward to Monday, to the surprise of all of us, or many of us observers, Sibanda once again indicated that he still stood by the same request, despite the fact that the court had already ruled on it. That raises serious questions because what do you mean? There was a ruling. When you are back at what you requested and there was a ruling on top of it. Now, why is this request so important to the prosecutors? Let's examine what could be happening. Kesan. The first possibility is that the state is frustrated by delays. Fine. But now, they are the last people going to be talking about delays. They delayed the case for so many years. So please, Jay, simply. Please, they are the last people to be saying such. Now, the defense for accused number 2 has experienced witness availability problems, right? One witness is overseas, another potential witness is an inmate whose appearance has created logistical challenges, according to Gininda. Not that there are any logistical challenges per se. The state may feel that the trial must continue moving forward instead of waiting. On the surface, that sounds reasonable, né? When they are just saying it. They know what they are requesting, Kesan. They know exactly what they are requesting. However, criminal trials are not a production. We are not shooting we're not shooting Isibaya, we're not shooting with the queen. That is not what we are doing, okay? You don't pack the other scene and go to the other. We don't do that here. It's not Inimba that we are shooting here. Okay. Now, criminal trials are not production lines. Okay, they are governed by rules designed to protect the rights of all parties involved. The second possibility is far more interesting. Once accused number 2 opens a defense case, that defense case is supposed to run its course unless there is a lawful reason for it to be interrupted. Of which in this case, for it to be interrupted, is there a lawful reason? No, there is absolutely no lawful reason from Sibanda. Now, temporarily stopping one accused case, defense case, and suddenly jumping to another accused creates procedural complications. And it states, guys. It states, they know that. Now imagine reading a book where chapter 10 suddenly stops halfway through and chapter 15 starts before chapter 10 is finished. Then all of a sudden, you have missing those that you did not hear about, details that you still needed to understand. Do you understand that? I don't know why is Sibanda doing this. I honestly don't know. That is essentially what some observers of the case believes would happen in this situation of closing temporarily the case of accused number 2 and opening the case of accused number 3. Now the record becomes confusing because we were dealing with number 2 the entire time. When now you want us to confuse the record, because in a nutshell, that is what Usibanda is applying for. Now, the flow of evidence becomes complicated if we do that. The strategy of the defense may become disrupted. And most importantly, potential appeal issues may arise later. And Laba, who are always looking for a quick win, they don't look at Pambili with future. They are always looking at quick wins, these ones. Now, all of this request for me was very shocking because Usibanda was already told this is irregular. How do you come back after being told something is irregular and you come back and say, I actually want to pursue it still? How do you do that? Honestly, now, like, let's talk about it. The comment section, drop your comments there. Tell me, how do I tell you it's wrong? You continue to say, even though you told me it's wrong the last time, but I still want to do it. What do you expect from me? What do you really expect from me? I honestly didn't understand. Now, the prosecution gets to hear additional explanations, additional versions, and additional witnesses before accused number 2 has completed his own defense case, if they open things for accused number 3, which it doesn't make sense. Now, that is why now we are busy talking about it and debating it, because whether that would ultimately help the state is a matter of debate, because it doesn't even make sense to begin with. But it is certainly not difficult to understand why defense lawyers would be uncomfortable with such an arrangement. Another issue concerns a judicial authority. The court is the ultimate manager of the proceedings, not the prosecution, not the defense, the court. When a judge makes a procedural ruling, all parties are expected to respect that ruling. That does not mean lawyers lose the right to disagree, no, but accept the ruling. Lawyers can place objections on record. They can reserve their rights. They can make new applications if circumstances change. But repeatedly pursuing a request that has already been rejected naturally raises questions amongst us people that are watching, because now we're talking about it because it did not make sense. Many people that are watching the case have interpreted that as another example of what they see as the prosecution attempting to dictate the pace and direction of the proceedings. Whether that perception is fair or unfair, it is becoming increasingly common among us people that are watching the case, because what is this now? What is this that Usibanda is doing? Now, what makes this situation particularly fascinating is that Judge Ratai himself shut the proposal down very quickly. He did not appear interested in creating a situation where accused number 2's defense case would be interrupted while accused number 3's defense case was opened. The speed of his response suggested that he immediately saw procedural difficulties. And that brings us to the bigger picture. The Senzo Meyiwa trial has already faced years of delays, multiple judges, numerous applications, and countless procedure disputes. The last thing anyone wants is another issue that could potentially become an appeal ground years down the road. That is why every procedural step matters. That is why every ruling matters. And that is why this debate over accused number 2 and accused number 3 is much bigger than it appears on the surface, because this is not simply about scheduling. It is about trial management. It is about procedural fairness. It is about judicial authority. And it is about ensuring that whatever verdict is eventually delivered can withstand scrutiny from higher courts. The question remains, why is Advocate Sibanda still so determined to pursue this route, despite the court already indicating that it is irregular? Why? Someone make it make sense. That question is something that I believe many of us are asking, because we did not understand Usibanda. We honestly did not. Now, let me know your thoughts on the comment section below, because I really want to hear from you guys. what came to mind when Sibanda was doing this? Do you believe that this was simply an attempt to keep the trial moving, or do you believe that there is a deeper strategic reason behind the prosecution's instances? This story is far from over, and it makes you ask so many questions because, Sana, what do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean? Excuse you, excuse you. What do you mean, Sibanda? And the other thing that I've noticed is that Usibanda nobalo disrespect to Judge Rota Mokwatleng. And then Judge Rota Mokwatleng will go and force irrespect out of the defense lawyers, yet these two disrespect him live on TV all the time. What are your thoughts? Let's talk. I will see you on our next video. Bye-bye.